On This Week with Cooking with Bernie, we're making creamy zucchini couscous. And we're adding some chicken in for added protein for our recipe option. We're gonna outdo Wes today, Bernie. Right, so we're gonna start our creamy zucchini couscous. You're gonna need about 3 pounds of zucchini. It's about 6 medium zucchini. So I'm already started this. I'm gonna cut this last one in half. And then you're just gonna chop it into thin slices, and Marty can fast forward through this and make me look like a ninja. All right, so before we cook our zucchini, we're gonna melt 1/4 cup of butter, which is 4 tablespoons. So again, that's 1/4 cup of butter, which is 4 tablespoons, and 1/3 cup olive oil. We'll let this heat up. It's starting to bubble. So we're gonna add our 3 pounds of zucchini, and then I'm gonna mix this, get it nice and coated. Now I understand there's a Cooking with Wes show out there, so Bernie and I are gonna have to step up our game. I don't know where you're at, Bernie, but whoa, we gotta step it up because I got competition. All right, so now we're gonna grate 3 cloves of garlic in this mixture. Now we'll get that nice and mixed up, get the garlic, mashed up garlic or minced garlic in there, really stir this up. So this is actually gonna cook for about 40 minutes. You're basically gonna reduce the zucchini down. It's really gonna break apart. It's gonna be almost like a sauce. All right, so I'm gonna put this on medium heat, cover it. Then we're gonna set the timer for about 40 minutes. While that's cooking, this recipe does not call for chicken, but I like adding protein to a dish like this. So I am just going to salt and pepper 3 chicken thighs. If you want wiener meat, of course, just use breasts. I'm gonna bake this in the oven at 350. And we'll do about 20 minutes per side, so that'll coincide with whenever the zucchini is done. So then while that's cooking, we're gonna go ahead and make the couscous. Now the alternative to couscous is a pasta like orzo. The original recipe calls for orzo or couscous, but I prefer couscous because it's a grain versus the pasta. So you're really gonna have to just follow the directions of whatever couscous that you happen to get. I got this from Aldi's because that was what was available. So I'm just adding a tablespoon of butter to the water and then opening the couscous mix. And like I said, it's just really gonna depend on what brand you have and just follow the directions for cooking. If you are gonna use pasta and use like an orzo, you're gonna wanna save the pasta water for later, like a ladleful, in case you wanna add that to your mixture to moisten it, but I didn't need to when I made this last week. I'm just gonna mix. And we're gonna let this cook for about 5 minutes. Gotta step up our game, Bernie. Gotta step up our game, Bernie. Yes, we do. We gotta get Wes. We gotta step up our game. We're gonna beat Wes. All right, so occasionally you should stop and stir the zucchini. I did have this up a little bit too high because some of this was starting to brown, so I'm turning down the heat. And it's just starting to break apart. We have about another 30 minutes for this to cook. Chicken. All right, so that is done. And our zucchini is looking like it should. So this is basically broken down into like a sauce. That's exactly the way you want it to look. All right, so our zucchini has broken down. So we're going to turn off the heat. This is exactly how it should look. And then to this mixture, we're going to add our couscous. And all the moisture from the broken down zucchini is going to mix in with the couscous. So it's going to make it a little creamier. So we have our couscous incorporated in with our zucchini mixture, and then we're going to grate a lemon. Now this calls for a half of a lemon, or juice from half of a lemon, but if you want to make it more lemony, you can make it the whole lemon. And I would just start with half a lemon first, and then we are going to add cheese. That's 1 cup of grated Parmesan. And this is what's going to really make it creamy. Bernie. That's better. All right, so I'm adding a little bit of water to this because this was a little bit too dry. I think it was because I used the more instant couscous. So I'd recommend getting something from like Trader Joe's, which is a larger size couscous. This was more like an instant couscous from Aldi, so I think it was a little too dry. Okay. All right, so here's our baked chicken. I'm gonna cut that up and put it in with the couscous. Our chicken is rested for a couple minutes. I'm just gonna cut this up into bite-sized pieces. It looks like it's done. I always use chicken thighs because I like the flavor. If you want a leaner meat, you can use chicken breast or nothing at all if you want to just eat the recipe as a vegetarian dish with just the zucchini and your pasta or couscous. So we're just going to add the baked chicken to our couscous zucchini mixture, and we're going to mix that in. And then you are done. This is pretty cheesy. Okay, so I plated this to try to make this look pretty, and I am going to put in a little bit of torn basil on top from my garden. It's our plant still, making some basil here. So it's a fairly quick weeknight meal. Get Trader Joe's couscous. It's worked a lot better than the Aldi's. It was too dry, but it's good.